Welcome back from the break, Ram fans, and to the final edition of Hot or Not before we end off the semester. And with our last show, we knew we had to make this one a little bit different, bringing on two special guests to spice up the action. Thursday night sports anchor Cameron Evig joins Ella and I on desk to debate our Super Bowl odds, while Tuesday night's Brandon Cruz joins Madeline to talk about the lockout in the MLB. But before we get into that, let's talk about our Super Bowl predictions with the playoffs only 6 weeks away. My prediction for the bracket is going to be wild, but before we get to that, Cam, who do you have? Surprise me. I know Ella's picking the Packers, but I want to hear who you have.
Listen, I would fully come in here expecting to say that the Colts are going to be my sleeper team.
Colts?
Jonathan Taylor leads the league in rushing yards. It's not even close. 1,348 rushing yards for Jonathan Taylor. Joe Mixon's next at 998, 300 yards plus.
15 touchdowns, too.
16 touchdowns.
Oh, 16, excuse me.
Sorry. And the Colts offense is clicking on all angles right now. Carson Wentz, although not back to his MVP form, not really close to it, is a good game-managing quarterback. And the defense leads the league in turnovers this year with 29 forced, 15 interceptions, 14 fumbles. Cardinals 6 away at second with only 23 forced. But
Who is it?
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
Everybody is sleeping on the Bucs still, forgetting who Tom Brady is. Guess who's first in NFL passing yards this year? I'll give you one guess.
The greatest of all time.
Tom Brady.
The luckiest player of all time, I agree.
2 top 10 wide receivers on this squad. Leonard Fournette's playing like darn near a top 10 back in the league right now.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Getting important pieces back on this defense. Sean Murphy-Bunting coming back. You could get Richard Sherman back as early as next week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still one of the best teams in the NFL. And last week's W only came by 13 points, but it was a terrible game from Tom Brady, and they still are able to beat the Falcons by 13.
Cam, all I'm hearing is talking about offense, but do you forget who wins championships?
Absolutely.
I think defense wins championships.
And arguably,
ask Tom Brady.
One of the roughest defenses in the NFL right now.
That's why the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. They have the greatest defense right now. It's roster-wise. I know the stats aren't all there, but look at Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller.
You're forgetting who they just lost to. The Packers. The Packers easily took that game. And I don't use that word
shouldn't say easily.
No, because in that last touchdown the Rams had in the last 2 minutes of the game, and it was still another possession that they would have needed to take that
The Packers can go 17-0, and I still want to pick them to go to the Super Bowl.
Why?
They are
Because
cursed.
of the NFC Championship?
They have lost in the NFC Championship how many years in a row? Like, I think, was it 3 or 4 now? It's ridiculous. They can't get past it, and they won't.
Look. Let me tell you why the Rams don't have it for me. I as soon as 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was saying the Rams are the best team in football. Matthew Stafford has a iffy game 1 in every 3 or 4, right? And that's okay in the regular season. You're going to go 12-4. You're going to make the playoffs. It's going to be great if you have 4 bad games from your quarterback. You can't have 1 in 3 bad games in the playoffs because you're not winning the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford has not looked like the quarterback we expected him to be, although looking great.
He's has MVP talk.
He is not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Not
Look at all the things. I swear, he is definitely in the MVP talk.
If he might have fell down. He's 3rd or 4th in the MVP.
I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he's still putting up numbers.
Matthew Stafford is not as good as he needs to be consistent enough to win the Super Bowl.
Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee.
You know I had your back. Before the season even started, I said I was excited to watch Matthew Stafford. Not anymore. Not a Super Bowl contender.
Cam, I guarantee the Rams will win the Super Bowl. I guarantee it. I picked the Braves to win. Obviously, I am a fortune teller. Rams are winning it. Von Miller's getting his 2nd ring as he deserves. But again, we could talk about football all day, and I wish we could. But Madeline and Brandon have some thoughts on the current lockdown that is going on in the MLB. Madeline, what can you tell us about the current situation for baseball?
Yeah, Brendon. Now, usually I debate topics on this show, but this week Brandon and I are in pure agreement. The current MLB lockout is terrible for the sport, and it's all Commissioner Rob Manfred's fault, a.k.a. the worst commissioner in all of pro sports. So, Brandon, you agree with me on this one, right?
Oh, totally. And I think Brendon should be up here joining us because he did pick the Braves to win this World Series.
I
So
know.
he
Who would've
obviously
thought?
knows some baseball.
Yeah, apparently he knows more than me.
But yeah, I mean, this is a total disaster. This is the first time that the MLB has had a lockout since the 1994 to 95 season. It is a complete mess. And the fact that the owners and players can't come to agreement after the collective bargaining expired last Wednesday, it's just a mess.
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. And all the stuff that Rob Manfred put in that letter to like the MLB fans and the players or whatever, whoever that letter was addressed to, a lot of it didn't make sense. And two, there was like no truth to the statements that he was making. It was all just a bunch of made up hoo-ha.
Oh yeah, and look, I mean, the baseball has been on a downturn for a long time. The ratings are horrible. You know, and it's just like after COVID too, the players and the owners, their relationship has just completely gone AWOL. It's really bad. I hope that they can get this figured out before the regular season comes, because having canceled games, World Series was canceled back 25 years ago. It's just like, what is going on?
If the regular season gets canceled, I don't know what I'm going to do. Baseball is the one thing that gives me joy. It's like the one thing I look forward to. The second the Rockies lose and are out of it, I set like a countdown on my phone, and I'm like, how many days until baseball season? And I remember the COVID year when it got pushed back. Yeah. I was in the middle of my English class when the announcement got made. I cried.
Yeah, and
this is going to make me cry again.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred, get it together. Stop being a little weenie and get it together.
Well, and the thing is too that it can be the owner's fault, but I kind of side with baseball fans too in blaming the players. I mean, the Rangers just dropped $500 million on Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, and then
they also got who else did they get? John Gray.
John Gray.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be a little honest here. John Gray going to the Rangers, a little bit of a parallel move, I guess. You know, he's Texas's inconsistent problem now.
Yeah.
But still, like the Rangers are honestly, the Rangers are looking like the Padres are to me.
Yeah.
They're looking like they're gonna spend all this money. They're gonna have this huge payroll, and it's gonna amount to nothing. Like in a way, I do agree that MLB needs to figure out something to do with the payroll. I am personally kind of a fan of a salary cap. I don't know how you feel about that one.
No, I would agree. I think this entire money thing, I mean, and Max Scherzer
I was
got
gonna
paid
say,
like
look at Max Scherzer. He's getting paid $43 million a year. His contract is higher than the Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates' entire roster. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I think that there's a point on both sides, but I think that just how the whole thing is handled was not the best.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully things can get figured out. And as two of the biggest baseball fans here at CTV, we better hope the players in MLB figure this dispute out soon, because they better not miss the start of the season. That's all I'm saying. And with that, it's time for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll send off one of our very own in a special way. So stay tuned.